This is Biafra television, exposing the lies.
Good evening and good night, depending on your location. Friends of Biafrans, lovers of
trial on a foreign club that had sought the services of his son. That it is so unfortunate that this very incident had happened, that it is an irreparable damage and it is unreplaceable loss to his family. And one begin to wonder what this very guy, man or boy or teenager must have done to deserve such a premature death in the hands of state authorities. One begin to wonder what is this crime. One begin to wonder why on earth will taxpayers' money be used to sponsor people that is going to kill us, people that is going to hunt us. This is not the first time it is happening. This is not the second time. This is not on daily basis. We hear stories and stories upon how these federal government agencies, how this federal government police, the special anti-robbery squad is causing crisis, making death upon the land. Mazi Bright Oriako, what is your take on that?
Yes, if it was in other countries, the security forces protect their citizens. But in the evil contraction called Nigeria, the security forces are killing those who were supposed to be their citizens. If you are not, if there's an attack on the citizens, you were supposed to run to the government. But this time around, the government agencies are killing you. Where do you actually run to? Where do you run to? Because the other countries have their own citizens to protect. And when you run to them, they will tell you, it is your government, it is your people. And of course, you and Nigerian, you stand up, because other countries, if their government, something like this happens in other countries, you see that everybody will stand up, and of course, there will be a revolution. But here, serious things happen, and there is no revolution, because it has become part of the people. It has become a norm in the land. That there are few terrorists, there are people who are on uniform, there are people who have been empowered with guns, and they are not treating external forces. They have been empowered and they have been trained and they have given paid money, and they are using it to kill their own people. Because most of the people that are being killed are also, if you watch that, sometimes in the Nigerian army, you are paid to go and kill your own people. Remember in Omahia when there was Python dance, some of the people were sent, apart from the Hausa Fulanis that were at the forefront, there were also some Igbo people there. That is to tell you that people are paid and they are uniform, and they give them guns to kill their own people. SARS, army, or whatever, they keep changing whatever name, whichever front they appear. What their primary duty is to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Now a promising future, a promising hope of the future. And of course, they keep telling you, they keep preaching at the pages of newspaper. They keep telling you that the youth are the hope of the tomorrow. They are tomorrow's leaders. And of course, these tomorrow's leaders are the ones that they are killing. A promising footballer is now killed, and the family are left to mourn. They are left to cry because his mates are there overseas. At least when the government has failed, the young people are there to fend for their families. But this time around, they have not, it's not that the government also only failed. They also kill the hope of the new generation. They also kill the family future. They also kill the family aspiration. One who was supposed to be the breadwinner of the family now has been killed. And of course, killed by SARS, state security agencies. That is it. So when you are talking about the evil contraction called Nigeria, people are dying every day. You have people dying and they load them, I keep saying it, on daily basis. They load them in their trucks and they expose them. Sometimes they throw them in Boropi, sometimes they bury them in shallow graves, sometimes they throw them in rivers. And of course in Biafra land we have discovered a good number of them in the past, where they bury our people in shallow grave, where they throw them in Boropi, and that is how it has been happening. A footballer, now tell me his crime, is it because he's a footballer or just because he's not on uniform, he doesn't have his own gun? That is the only reason. So I think in the evil contraction called Nigeria, everybody should have a gun. I think that's the only way. If everybody should have a gun, this government should provide gun for everybody, so that at least you should be able to defend yourself. Why should only a few people be given gun? It's a question that the international community has to answer, because if they are not able to stop the federal government, if the ICC are not there, if there are no authorities in the world to stop the Nigerian government, then they should approve, the Nigerian system has to approve gun for everybody, because it has got to a point where you should, if you shoot me, of course, if you shoot a family person, the brother should shoot you. So it shouldn't be left in the hands of few people, but because it is a terrorist organization, Nigeria is a terrorist country, it's terrorizing those who are supposed to be citizens, and Nigeria cannot survive. Of course it has failed, because it will not kill the people who are supposed to be citizens and still remain as a state.
You made a statement, Mazuriako, that the government should provide guns for the citizens. Government should provide. Are you referring to Nigerian terrorist government, and you expect them to provide guns for the citizens? Because I don't think that is going to happen in 10,000 years to come.
Yes, of course, we know it's not going to happen. But I'm referring to the international community.
Okay.
I'm referring to the international community. Since they are interested in supplying weapons to Nigeria, and of course, it is one of the avenues they make money, because all those weapons you see, most of those advanced countries are producing, they have to sell it somewhere. And of course, since they know that Nigeria is a good market for their weapons, then let it be approved. Let the international community pressurize Nigeria to give guns to everybody. Then we know we are in a good business. At least when we have all of us have killed ourselves, at least the international community will clap for themselves, and of course know they have achieved something. They have ended up killing all the people in the evil contraction called Nigeria.
Wonderful. Of course, the international community is going to have a larger market, and their profit index is going to increase tremendously if they should allow guns to be available to every citizen, provide guns for everybody in this very jungle, so that at the end of the day, we all have to battle ourselves. So at the end of the day, they will be able to commend themselves for the good work they are doing. Because now it is one-sided. You can't provide guns for a set of people, the enemies of the people, and expect them to expect peace and expect justice at the end of the day. Now, still on the issue of the young promising footballer that was killed, the father said that this guy, the boy, was accused of carrying they accused him, the SARS personnel accused him of having military common flags, that he was having a military common flag on him. That was why they accosted him and they were trying to investigate him. But when they got to the hospital, lo and behold, this guy was just with his football jersey. He was just with his football jersey. There was no military common flag of any sort. But through the story of the friend that was with him when this incident took place, said after this guy was picked up, accosted when he came down from his car, he was they took him into the SARS Sienna, and on the way the car of those the deceased was drove by one of the personnel of SARS to follow the vehicle that they came with. And on the way, the friend said he saw this guy being pushed. He was kicked out of the vehicle. Probably they have been beating him inside the vehicle, and he was kicked out of the vehicle, and a vehicle that was passing by knocked this guy dead. and that was how this promising young footballer lost his life. And the evidence that the SARS people are coming out with is not something that is holding waters. There is no military common flag on the body of this guy, so it only shows that at the end of the day they try to rob him, they try to dispossess him of his possessions, they try to intimidate him, and at the end of the day they led him into his death. But one striking statement from the father is that he was hoping to see this young man on Nigerian Eagles, playing for Nigerian Eagles. And it behoves me that many of us are still believing in Nigeria. So many of us. So you see, this is the danger when you still trust in Nigeria, when you are still believing that something good can come out from this damnable republic called Nigeria. So this man, the father to this young man, was still believing in Nigeria, and today Nigeria has taken away his source of hope, has taken away the glory of the family. So this is what we have been saying. This is what we have been preaching all this while, that there is nothing good that can ever come out from this damnable republic. It doesn't matter where you are coming from. It doesn't matter which part of the divide you are. There is nothing good that can come out from this damnable republic called Nigeria. Mazuriako, I know you have a take on this.
Yes, of course, nothing good can come out of this evil contraction called Nigeria. You know, when you're talking about military camouflage, and of course that is the only reason why they would kill him. Is it a law? Is it a crime? Because military camouflage is sold in the market. Anybody can buy it and wear. And of course, it doesn't make you a soldier. Soldiers know themselves. Now, you remember that there was a disabled Biafran also that the military people had tortured just because he was on a camouflage. So, you see, in the evil contraction called Nigeria, they don't want, they so much intimidate people to the point that you dare not look at them in the eyes, you dare not look at them in the face. And that is why so many people are timid. You talk about the level of timidity in the evil contraction called Nigeria. Elsewhere in the world, somebody is shaking your hand and is looking at your eyes. But here in the evil contraction called Nigeria, you see somebody shaking your eyes and shaking your hands. It's not looking at your eyes because of the level of timidity.
Thank you very much. We think we have a caller on WhatsApp. The caller on WhatsApp, your name and where you are calling from. Welcome to this very discussion this afternoon.
My name is Emmanuel Chidebre.
Welcome.
I'm calling from Italy.
Go ahead.
I see the program that
hear from you.
I see the program that is going on about the young football. It said about common flag or no common flag. Come on, what is wrong with people? Why all these sacks, or they are using people like a sacrifice? The last time I see a SARS marquee, a young guy inside the bus. What is going on in that country? Because I remember if you go to northern Nigeria, you will see many of those northerners. They wear ball short, they wear shorts, camouflage short and move around. Go to Kano, Sabogiri, all those places. You see them. They are moving with camouflage. Why SARS don't go over there and attack them? Why always the SARS is everything? Well, this is going. Come to Europe here, you will see people. Even a soldier man will remove it in camouflage and remove the badge and this and say, "Hey, amico, take my friend, take to give you your clothes." But Nigeria is rubbish.
Talking about a sane climb. You are talking about a climb or a place where things are working. Would you believe me that it is very difficult for you to go to any single household in the northern part of Nigeria without finding at least one form of ammunition or the other? Most of these households in the northern part of Nigeria, they are young men, illiterate young men are going about with all sort of weapons, with all sort of ammunitions, but yet they are not being accosted, they are not being challenged. But because we are people under siege, we are people that is under siege. They are trying to exterminate us. The south is under siege. That is why all these things is going on. And I know that for sure that a day is coming when all these things will come to an end. If you are still
yes, it will come to an end, because our people say that. Because now our own people, it's our own people. Because it's our own people. I'm ashamed of our those ones say, oh, this one. Why not they can't speak? Fulani S-men are parading themselves, moving. The last time I see a newspaper or what, they say how many hours Boko Haram operated, 6 hours in the road, no military force there, nothing. But come to Southeast, when you see people raising flag, if they start shooting, then they will know that they have power. Then they will know how to kill innocent people.
Yes, Mazi, that is true. I would permit me to agree with you, because right now you will see some of our people who are just saying all hail Biafra, all hail Biafra, but this is the time for them to come out and condemn evil. Many of them are not bold enough. Just like what my people will say in Akwa Ibom, when you talk to them about Biafra, the language they are going to respond to you in say Biafra na munofien, in say Biafra na munofien, say Biafra kemi no wo. For me to interpret that, it means what has Biafra done for you, or what can Biafra give to you. So this is how evil, this is how gullible the minds of black men had gotten to be. We are now satisfied in the state of evil. Someone will die, we don't care, we are not concerned. We don't want to show concern. But we fail to understand that what happens to another man one day will creep into our own doorstep. And by then, nobody will speak for us.
Yes, that is truth. See, any man come from east or anywhere or any part of Biafra, Ejo, Idoma, any part of Biafra, they say Biafra, you say, not because that person is not checking where maybe according to our people, so that is where blood is running from. Because any Igbo man that know the sacrifice people already take, almost how many million people. I don't know whether some people can stay sometimes and go and watch the Biafra war, former Biafra, see how people died, see how children, all these things. I don't know whether it can touch some people in the heart. Person like me, anytime I watch it, I shed tears. I see where people are dying, children are dying like a chicken. Oh, come on. See, the problem is that our leaders, the people they call themselves their fucking leader, I don't care the fucking leader. Anambra, last time the governor said if you kill cow, whether they kill a woman, they will balance with 500,000. Woman being all this kind of thing cannot happen in America. All this kind of thing cannot happen in Europe. You can't, citizen of Europe, you can't tell the governor, the government that you compensate them with a 5,000 euro. This what are rubbish. Our governors, some of them are foolish. If they want to hear, they will take it.
Thank you very much for that wonderful contribution. The caller on Skype, your name and where are you calling from?
Good
afternoon, Mazi. Welcome to the program.
I'm not here from the place. I have from the place called Mulu. Is the English autonomous community.
You are breaking up, please. Can you shift away a little from where you are?
It's part of the brain of this black man.
Are you there? Hello, Mazi, are you still there with us? Okay, I think we lost that one. Please do endeavor to call in. Just like the second to the last caller had said, it can't happen in other areas, in other countries where we have governors. I was watching, okay, the caller on WhatsApp. Are you there? Your name and where are you calling from?
Thank you very much. Once again, Pastor Jack calling from Lagos. Mr. Daniel, I hope I'm coming out.
Yes, you are coming out. I'm listening to you.
Okay, as you react to what we're discussing this afternoon, the average black man mentality is filled with destruction. That is why when you go to some part of Biafra, you see they are slaughtering our people, and you come out and talk to somebody. If we know better, we come together as a Biafran and provide a solution. And one stupid person somewhere will be telling you what does not have to offer me. But he never thought that already he's being enslaved and he's already experiencing hellfire and death. that within himself have not understood. Psychologically and mentally, most of the black people have problems. Now, talking about SARS, I watched one video clip yesterday where SARS people invaded one hotel. When they invaded the hotel, they never knew that the owner of that hotel is an army colonel. You see here, the army people were following these SARS people. I say yes, this is what fits them. This fits them properly well, so that they should understand what camouflage. Anybody can wear camouflage. So, but you know, this construction is a place where everybody and regulation. The law enforcement agency will just come out and see, either commissioner of police or whosoever commander will support them and shield them in that evil. And evil began evil, just as darkness began darkness.
Oh yes, I agree with
the
you.
The state of terrorism. This does not happen. This cannot happen in America. You see somebody wearing camouflage or anything. It is nothing. Somebody as a police officer may cost you life imprisonment, even though it's 3 years imprisonment in the United States of America. Let alone flogging or beating up somebody for wearing off. Or in this contraction, the British have paid people with lies that they have forgotten their real identity. They are forgetting the real truth about themselves. The only thing they are saying is how to eat food in order not to die. That is a problem. It's a root of mass destruction that they have paid these people with. So that is why they are finally Biafra. But we also have to continue to preach this gospel, because faith coming by hearing and only by hearing of the word. So when they continue hearing, the first hearing, the second hearing, continuous and spontaneous hearing, that their mentality, that their score will be broken, and that one will sink in. Because there it is. Yesterday or thereabouts, people were crying. Their encounters of people yesterday have blocked the road. They come. Somebody should come and help them. I was asking, who will come and help you? You pray and you still have orchestrated such situation, and the only solution you have is to join individual people in order to restore our own nation, in order to have our identity. Nobody will pray come and cut fear without being apprehended, but they don't understand. We are telling them they are talking about another thing. But this hour, it is important that all of you out there must understand that it's only when we restore our nation that will become a free people, that will do exploit as God has ordained us from the beginning. So all of us should collectively come together to support this reflection process. To the capacity we can in order to make sure. I don't care what you think you are, whether you're a Biafra, whether you are a Weibo, they see all of us as one, and we are one people. That is not the truth. I don't know what I was doing.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes. What kind of reactions do you think the people? How do you think the people are going to react to all these killings that is happening in the land? Do you see the people reacting, and what kind of reaction can you predict that the people are going to react?
My brother, the people in this part of contraction, they are lukewarm in their attitude. I will explain. They have become killing has become a law in this part of the country, in this part of the world, to the extent that even when they see cops littered on the street, they will just cross over the cops and go their way. They have been able to see corpses or dead body all over. It no longer moves them. You will kill somebody now by the side of somebody's compound. The person will hear that people are telling somebody is dead. The person will pick his phone or whatsoever and leave. It has become enough. You no longer fighting them. They don't see it as anything. But such a thing cannot happen in a Western country. Somebody died. It comes a serious investigation, and somebody must have to go to jail for that purpose. But in this place, my brother, their reaction is going to be like nothing. If it will be something, continue cutting from when these people have started slaughtering people and herdsmen. Are you talking about middle base? I'm talking about data. I'm talking about the I'm talking about cross river. Which one will you say? Nothing yet is happening. They bomb houses in Biafra several times in Ogoni. They kill. In our own prison, they bomb houses in our leaders' house. They kill. Nigerians can no longer react positively. That is how it is, and that is what it is. It's only indigenous people who save them. And that is my take.
Yes, thank you very much for that wonderful assertion, Pastor Jack. In fact, we are interacting here. In fact, we are getting proper good feedbacks, and our people are telling us how dissatisfied they are with the current situations in the zoo and contraption called Nigeria. We don't want to stop doing what we are doing. We want to continue doing this very work that we are doing, which is propagating the gospel of the restoration of Biafra and to expose the lies of the zoo. That is why you out there watching this very video, by whatever means you can, means within your power you can, to support this very good work, you are encouraged to do so. This work must not stop. It must not stop in our time. It must not stop in our time. We owe our generation to come a debt that we must pay, and that debt is freedom. Do you know that if this generation does not bring freedom for the upcoming generation, we are going to be totally indebted to them? So that very debt we are owing, we must pay before our generation pass away. Mazi Bright Oriako still talking on police brutality. Police brutality. Do you know, this is according to Daily Sun, that yesterday 5 people were murdered that went out to protest in Ogun State against the killing of this very footballer. 5 people. Now let me go into details of this. No fewer than 5 persons were killed in Sagamo, Ogun State, as residents protested the death of Remo Star Football Club player and Taimu Kazim, that is also known as Kaka, who was allegedly killed by policemen on Saturday. Kazim, popularly known as Kaka, was killed on Saturday along the Abeokuta-Sagamo Expressway during an encounter with the operatives of the Zonal Intervention Squad. They have changed their name now. You see how bad these Nigerian journalists are. These are SAS members. What is a Zonal Intervention Squad? So this is the rebranding of name. They have decided to give to these people, but we know that these are special anti-robbery squad and of Obada, who suspected him of being an internet fraudster. Have you seen the nonsense? No intelligence in the police department. All we have is trigger happy journalists, trigger happy policemen walking on the streets of this contraption called Nigeria. While police authorities claim that the deceased attempted to escape after arrest and was knocked down by an oncoming vehicle, the player's teammate Sani Abubakar, who was with him at the time of arrest, alleged that he was pushed out of the car and got knocked down by a passing vehicle. But the youth yesterday morning turned out in large numbers to protest the controversial death of Sagamo-born footballer. The protesters, who were chanting anti-police songs, were reported to have clashed with the police along Ita Oba Road in Sagamo. Daily Sun gathered that the clash led to the death of protesters whose identities were yet to be established as of the time of filing this report. Daily Sun further gathered that the protesters had earlier stormed the palace of the Akaribo and paramount ruler of the Remo land, Oba Ababantude Ajayi, demanding justice for the deceased. It was further learned that the former governor of Ogun State, Otumba Benga Daniel, was also at the palace in solidarity with the protesters and to calm them down. And a House of Representative member representing Remo Federal Constituency, Mrs. Adewumi Onanuga, and the State Commissioner of Women Affairs and Social Development, Mrs. Fumi Efuwape, were at the palace to appeal to the people. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, had directed the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of Force Criminal Investigation and Department, FCID, Anthony Obinze, to take over the investigation surrounding the killings of Kazim. Now, so the people came out to protest. And on the verge of protesting, this Daily Sun newspaper is now reporting that there was a clash.
You see,
protesters in the palace, and they are talking about a clash, and 5 people lost their life in that very incident.
You see, one thing that pains so much after these killings, there is no remorse. The Nigerian government, of course, the British government through the Nigerian government are killing with impunity. And of course, without any form of remorse. They kill and you want to question them, they kill again. And of course, you raise your hands, you want to ask some question, they are killing you. That is the evil thing. Then people without a gun, and of course with ordinary people, is being reported as having clash. And of course, you see that the newspapers have taken this language because it has become an international language. They use it to deceive the international community that there was a clash. And whenever you're talking about a clash, you're talking about two people of equal power strength meeting, and of course they are dragging power, and of course there's a clash. But this time around, the strong ones, of course trained with guns, are shooting innocent people without guns. And of course, they are just ordinary people, and they're reporting a clash, deceiving the international community. Because when these reports get to the international community, it looks as if the military or the police, we are coming in confrontation with some other group of people with guns. But it is not so. You see people, of course, when Fulani herdsmen come to your house and of course burn the house, they are also going to report that there's a clash. They call it farmers and herders clash. And you see that they have invented languages, deceptive languages, evil languages in the pages of newspapers. And for you to write in Nigeria, you must use these languages. And of course, they will tell you allegedly. When you have clear facts, when you have things happening, and of course it is live. You see these things happening live, and they will tell you it is an allegation. They will tell you how it was allegedly said. They will tell you, they invent dirty and languages that sometimes you imagine, why would people with good conscience be using such, professionals for that matter, they are using it intentionally. They tell you there's a clash intentionally. The Nigerian newspapers, of course, the Gota media, as our leader would say, are professional in deceiving the world, just like the BBC and the CNN. You know, they are taking after BBC and CNN in misleading the world. So you're having a people that are without defense. There's no judiciary and there's no media. That is why we must tell our stories by ourselves. That, you know, the indigenous people of Biafra, one thing that Mazin and the Kano have succeeded in doing for us, that Chukwu Okike bless him for, is giving us a voice. Because today we are in Biafran television telling you things the way they are. What else? Who else will do that in the evil contraction called Nigeria? Will the BBC do it? Will the CNN do it? No, they won't do it. Talk more of Nigerian Gota media. So we are living in a world where there is corruption, where men are killing with impunity, where the security forces are killing with impunity, and the world body, of course, feel that yes, since the newspapers are reporting clash, yes, the people are actually stubborn people. They are what they call it. They invented a name, and of course, say we are youths. At a time they will tell you it is exorbitant to you, that they're just being too exorbitant after drinking or something. They take weapons, and that is how the international community sees it. But these are ordinary people who are angry with what is happening, and of course they will stand up to march around and condemn what is happening. They will still be shot to tell you that these men have no repentance. They are killing with impunity. They are men, and of course they are bloodthirsty demons, and of course they are trigger happy. So Nigeria is an empty state, and of course it must end. Biafra must be restored.
It must end, and Biafra must be restored. Mazi Oriako, you said something that is very, very striking. You talked about what we are doing here is something BBC can never attempt to do because they are not bold enough to speak the truth. And CNN, of course, international media outlets can't do what we are doing. This is the only platform that does not just have the ability to reach you wherever you are around the world, but also it is the platform that has what it takes to speak the truth. You are free when you are on Biafran television. You are free to say your mind. You are free to agree and to disagree with us. This is Biafran television, where we allow the truths and the minds of the people to prevail. That is why it is a responsibility for you and I to make Biafran television to be a formidable voice in our environment, a formidable voice in our household. Biafran television must be a household name in wherever we are for the truth to prevail, and it is the responsibility of you and I to do so. Mazi Oriako, I want to know, is peaceful protest still working? The essence of peaceful protest, you know, these are one of the civil duties of citizens, embarking on peaceful protests, pressure groups coming out to speak, engaging to using the means of protest to speak their minds to the government, to institutions. But do you see peaceful protests working in Nigeria? Do you still see, would you still encourage people to still go out on protest? Because on daily basis they are being killed. Anytime you come out to speak, anytime you come to protest, now 5 people had lost their life trying to speak out against injustice. So would you still encourage people to embark on a peaceful protest? The essence of peaceful protest, is it still working in this very contraption called Nigeria?
You see, whatever means that must be employed to show your anger, you have to do it, because an angry man is angry, and of course can do anything when he's angry. But because you are in a condition where you have been enslaved, and of course as a slave you are not at equal rank with the authorities. That is what the evil contraction is. So for that reason, that is why the only thing that is left for you is to protest. And of course protest and protest. Normally the people there was supposed to be a revolution. It was not supposed to continue. All these peaceful protests, the Nigerian system does not respect it. And of course, remember one thing: if there's anything the federal government is afraid of, if there's anything the evil contraction is afraid of, it is protest. Because it is only during protest that the world body get to understand what is happening. When the people protest, and of course, before you know what is happening, it's on the news that the people are unhappy. We are not talking about the politically motivated protests that you see in Abuja. They raise flyers, and of course the one they pay 500. We are talking about the real protest under normal circumstances. Do you know that when Mazin Nnamdi Kanu was held in Communicado, when Mazin Nnamdi Kanu was held in Kuje prison, if we did not protest, they would have killed him there, because they wouldn't have even tried him in the first place. But because of our protest, because they knew that we could not, you know that during that time, both in Abuja and all over Biafra land, in Lagos, everywhere, we protested. And of course, they were killing us, but we wouldn't stop. They were killing us, but we wouldn't stop. There's no way that if we didn't protest, that they wouldn't have killed him in Kuje prison. So that is one of the things you need to understand. But you are looking at it that, yes, based on the killings, based on the fact that when you protest, they will shoot you, that people should stop protesting. Then what else do you think they should do? That's the question. Should they die in silence? Because silence is worse. Silence is worse, because you are at home. The Fulani herdsmen are coming to kill you there. What was the offense of this footballer? Was he protesting? He wasn't protesting. So you see that the system is a killer machine. And of course, they kill you at all fronts. But if you are angry, you need to express your anger. It's not right for you to be angry and you don't express it. You must find a way to express it, and the easiest way is to protest. Yes, I expect a revolution. I expect that the time for revolution is actually now.
Thank you very much, Mazi Oriako. Let me borrow the words of Dino Malaye. He said, if you talk, you die. If you do not talk, you die. And also our own Amebu Senator Einaya Baribe had said, those who live by propaganda will also die by propaganda. And wherever you are in Asia, you are in the Middle East, you are in United Kingdom, you are in America, you are in any part of the world as a Biafran, and also lover of freedom, also our friends and sympathizers, what do you think? Because this is a very delicate matter that we are talking about, a very delicate situation that we have found ourselves. What do you think? Do you think we should go ahead with peaceful protest, or there is an alternative? What is that alternative? Would you agree with Mazi Oriako when he said that we should, he's still saying, or still supporting peaceful protest that people should come out to talk. So you call in at various call-in platforms and let's discuss. Let's have a wonderful time. Let's speak justice. Let's speak truth. Let's speak against the evil that is going on in the contraption. Remember that once you are silent and decide to be neutral in the place of injustice, you are counted to be complacent to that very injustice. You are counted to be among the oppressors. So you have no excuse to be silent. You have no reason to be silent except you are comfortable with what the enemy is doing to innocent people on daily basis. On daily basis, what the police is doing to innocent people, the federal government is doing to innocent people. So, Massive Right Oriako, I want to put this to you because Biafrans would like to know. Biafrans would like to know, are eagerly to know. Now, we are having a situations whereby our people are being slaughtered. There are you have the ISIS operating in this contraption called Nigeria. You have Islamic State or State of West Africa. You have the Al-Shabaab operating. You have herdsmen operating. Now, outside the herdsmen, you also have Fulani terrorists also operating, because this is something that people have to understand. We have the herdsmen operating. We also have the Fulani terrorists operating. These people don't have a single cows operating. Now, information that came in this very morning in they came into Iguacha. They were escorted by 6 vans. These are Fulani people, suspicious Fulani people. They were in full truck, escorted by 6 vans, and they were escorted into Burikam. So when you have all these elements of terror operating in our land, and you see the northern politicians, those people that they are killing their people, they are still frolicking in the corridors of power, talking about 2023 presidency. You have the northern politicians whereby they have the highest rates of illiteracy, the highest poverty rates. In fact, everything evil is going on in Nigeria. You have internally displaced people going on happening in the northern part of Nigeria. But yet these people are still talking about 2023 presidency. These people are not concerned in telling their people the truth. They are not ready to have a village meeting to ask themselves, how did we get to this very state we are right now? Now, what do you think is going to be the aftermath of all of these things?
You see, the politicians are men who have already sold their conscience. For you to be a politician in the evil contraction called Nigeria, the politics here is a make or break affair. In the sense that before the last election, they have already decided who will be the president in the next election. Politicians are only thinking about the next election and the next promise to make and the next money to release, and of course how much they wish to buy the people that will, the machineries that will work for them, and of course place them in power. So they are talking about 2023. When you ask yourself, what have they delivered? Are they fighting to deliver? And do you think there's any agenda? And of course, they promised wheelbarrow. And one boy was asking, you're a politician and you're promising the people wheelbarrow to push your agenda. Is your agenda yam? You know, the boy was asking, and I looked at him. I said, yes, you need to ask them, because you see them during campaigns, they keep making promises. And somebody will sit down and tell you, okay, the Yorubas, we are going to give you presidency in 2023. And of course, they will tell the Igbos, you see, we'll give you this. So that means somebody somewhere plotting it, and we will just take it and give to you. It's not election. It's not a democracy, government of the people. It's not to tell you that the voting is not even important. So they will sit somewhere and, of course, decide who they will give it to. Just like it is. So we have lost confidence in it. So you see, for politicians, you see the evil contraction called Nigeria, it is a business center. We look at it from that perspective. So from the last election, they are looking towards the next election. But we know that the indigenous people of Biafra, Chukwu Okike Abiama, will not allow us to suffer till then. Of course, we are talking about 2023. Our suffering will not reach that time. We are working hard to see that Biafra is restored, not tomorrow, today. We want Biafra now.
Of course, it is our earnest expectation that what is called the contraption called Nigeria is not going to see the year 2023. This is what we are concerned about. In spite of all the evils that is happening, when the census, it is time for census, these northern politicians will be thinking about promoting their population, telling the world that they are 20 million, telling the world they are 100 million. But they fail to take care of their people. It is not about how many you are, how many you want to tell the world. What is your capability? What systems have you put in place to take care of your people? But of course, these are evil men and women in the corridors of power who have failed to make use of their brains. Now, this is coming from Burutai. Burutai is warning International AIDS Organization to stay away from Northeast war zone. He's warning them. So in spite of the humanitarian crisis that is going on, Burutai is warning them to stay clear of Northeast. So I would want to know, Biafrans will want to know, is this guy not sensitive to the plight of the internally displaced people, or they are in the agenda of destroying and shattering the hopes and the lives of their people?
Now, remember that the same people are telling you that Boko Haram has been defeated, has been weakened, and they are no more strong. Then the international community, of course, the doctors who want to give assistance to the less privileged, to those who have been affected, are here, and they are telling them to beware that you can be killed. You know why? Because they don't want anything, the eye of the international community very close to anywhere around their operations, to know exactly what is happening. They don't want anybody to know. So they know that the doctors, of course, having come to the evil contraction called Nigeria, while they administer help, they would also observe what is happening. So they feel that, yes, these people could be mercenaries, and of course they could report to the international community the true situation of things. So they are hiding something. They don't want anybody to gain access to what is happening in evil contraction called Nigeria. They want to be the one reporting, telling the world what they want, and of course telling them that they have defeated Boko Haram, that Boko Haram has been weakened and all that. So the same Boko Haram that has been weakened is the same Boko Haram that is now afraid of. They will not allow doctors to gain access to the victims of Boko Haram insurgency. So that is to tell you that they are speaking from both sides of their mouths. The Nigerian government, the Burutai, the army chief, and of course the rest of them are simply speaking from both sides of their mouth. Today they tell you that Boko Haram have been technically defeated. Tomorrow they tell you they have been weakened, and at the end of the day they will not allow doctors to access it. So Nigeria is a failed state. Of course, you should expect anything to happen. You should expect them to say anything, because nothing is working in the evil contraction for Nigeria.
Yes, nothing is working in the evil contraption called Nigeria. The Mayati Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria in Oyo State is seeking inclusion of its members in Operation Omotekun security outfit. Speaking in a public hearing in the Oyo State Security Network Agency Bill 2020, also known as Omotekun Bill, on Monday, Yakub Bello, a former chairman of MAGBAN in the state, said incorporation of Mayati Allah members will be beneficial of the development of the peace in the state. At the event presided by Biodun Fadeyi, the Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Bello, expressed the support of the Mayati Allah in the Omoteko initiative, saying only haters of truth will oppose such a move. Some of us have been in Oyo State for over 40 years, cohabiting with the natives, married Yorubas, women and children. So our request is to include Mayati Allah as members of Operation Omotekun to enhance the job of the outfit, since we know the terrain of where we rear our cattle, he said. Having Fulani among the outfit will make it easier for Omotekun men to distinguish between genuine herder and criminals while on patrol. A Fulani man can also serve as an interpreter while interrogating any suspected herdsman. In his remarks, Boyega Adejumo, representative of Gani Adams, Are Onakankafo of Yoruba Land, said the issuance of license for firearms is vital for the operations of the security outfit. Now the point is, the Mayati Allah, during the bill that was to be passed to legalize the formations of Omotekun in the Oduduwa land, the Mayati Allah, the strangers and aliens that had succeeded in invading many parts of the southern part of Nigeria, is now coming up to commend the progress or the formation of this Omotekun, after their national association must have condemned this formation. Now they are now appealing to be integrated into the formation. They are talking about regional security. What are you coming there to do? So it baffles us. They are saying they know the terrain. Do you know the terrain more than the natives of the land? That they have been there for 40 years. So they know the terrains of the land, that they should be integrated into the service. So I know you have a take on this.
Yes, you know the mission of Mayati Allah. They are simply telling you that we have already infiltrated your land. And of course, when you are forming anything, when you are talking about your community, that we must be involved. So that is what you see that they are trying to explain. They are trying to explain something in clear terms. That, see, this community you think that is your own, we have already taken over it. And of course, you know that in some parts of Yoruba land, you have the Fulanis, you have the Muslim community, and of course they have their own emir separately, and of course they are operating. So they now want to let the Yorubas know that, see, it's not only you, this land is not your own. That's simply what they're trying to tell them. That, see, we are cohabitants, and of course we run government with you. You need to give us a portion of a space, of course, to infiltrate your security force, and that is it, so that you won't have control over it, so that they will know everything you're doing, and of course infiltrate it and make it weak. That is simply to tell you that the Fulanis and of course the Mayati Allah are working very, very hard. You know, like the ambassador, like agency of the Fulanis, they are there doing duty. These are clear evidences of what we have been saying, that the Fulanis have representative everywhere. And of course, the Mayati Allah is doing the job of an ambassador. They are there like another government in your government. And they want to influence your own government. And that is to tell you that, you see, you are not safe anywhere, because they have already come to your land and they have planted themselves as seed, and they are no longer as seed. They have germinated, they are bearing fruit now, to the point that they are telling you that we have to be part of it. We have to be part of your community. You are raising a community that they are having their own concurrently. Of course, tomorrow you are having an Oba, day too they are having their own Oba running concurrently. So that is how far the Fulanis have gone. So they have actually taken time to infiltrate every community, and that is how difficult it is. And of course, it's going to be for anybody who is not awake to understand what is happening in the evil contraction called Nigeria.
Yes, Professor Bright Oriako, this is just coming in based on what you have said. The professor, a Yoruba professor who is the convener of the Yoruba World Council, Professor Banji Akintoye, the man who came out to tell us the other day that it is only God that can save the breakup of Nigeria, because where he sees Nigeria getting to is a place that is not commendable, had come out now to insist that it is only locals that should be included in the Omotekun outfit. So he is coming out to contest and to argue in the same public hearing for the bill to be passed on Omotekun, that only locals should be included, that aliens should stay far away. So do you think the desire for Mayati Allah to come into the Omotekun security outfit is to compromise the security outfit?
Of course, we know that the Mayati Allah are political arm of the Fulani herdsmen. And of course, they are their spokespersons. And whenever they are speaking on behalf of the Fulani herdsmen. Very clear. Because we knew that in Anambra and in Enugu, when the Fulani herdsmen were being questioned, it was Mieti Allah that was standing in advocation for them. And of course, the other day when Mieti Allah was passing instructions, remember that the Fulani herdsmen, when they killed people, when they take two communities in Anambra State, it was the Mieti Allah that insisted that the community leader should be arrested. So that is to tell you that the Mieti Allah everywhere has infiltrated already. So it's not even a question. They have an eye, they have a business, they have a program, and they are working on it assiduously. It's only that most times you have people that are lazy about their people. Community leaders, most of them are so lazy because they ought to have been aware, they ought to do something urgent, because sometimes you see that they are slow. Mieti Allah, these people are fast and they know what they are doing. They are doing a business they have orchestrated for a long period of time, and they are fast about it. They are moving heavily sponsored, and they are doing it systematically, and they are careful about it, and they are giving it everything it takes. So this professor standing, of course, is saying that the Mieti Allah will not be part of it. Of course, it's right. It's only natives. It's only the indigenous, because you cannot be telling me that you want to fight Fulani herdsmen, and now the same Fulani herdsmen you are recruiting them into. So what are you doing? You end up infiltrating. You end up wasting your energy trying to create a security force, because it's not going to work, including the Fulani, involving the Fulanis.
Yes. Our phone lines are still open. You know the platform to call. Our Skype line is open. Our phone numbers are open. For those of us in Biafra land, for those of us in diaspora, for those of us in every part of the world that is listening or watching this very program, this very day, you are encouraged to call in. This is issues that affect us as a people. This is issues that affect us and issues that is threatening our existence. It is of utmost importance that you call in to make your own contribution to these very issues, as we are waiting to receive your call wherever you are. We know our phone lines are very busy, but you have to keep on trying to get to us, because at the end of the day, our voice must be heard by the world. We must tell our own stories. We must tell give our own narrative to whatever is happening to us. Mazi Bright Oriako, this is just coming in, and it's a news from Daily Sun that Aisha Buhari has joined the voices of a lot of men and women calling for the restructuring of the security architecture of the contraption called Nigeria, asking for total review of the security structure. So the husband is saying that no, we are not going to, the so-called husband, of course we know that it is A.K. Jubril that is the Al-Sudani that is there. He is coming out to say, I think representing the opinion of Abba Kyari, or the decision of Abba Kyari, that they are not going to sack anybody, that it will not be of national interest for any of these security chiefs to be sacked, even in spite of them failing in their core responsibilities, which is to protect lives and properties. So now the wife has come out to say that, look, something has to be done. There has to be a total review of the security architecture in this very contraption called Nigeria. So from time to time, we continue to hear Aisha Buhari coming out to tell the world that, look, I am not in the same lane with this young man that is in Asurok. So when we come back from this very short break, we will be looking into this very matter, because there seems to be house on fire, house on disagreement. Asurok is on fire. Asurok is losing its policies on daily basis. Please stay with us. When we come back, we'll be looking into these very issues.
Always on point. Just in between. Music is the weapon I use to fight my oppressors. Our government has actually nothing but to suppress us. And this has led to many dying of depression. A big shout out to Biafra for this situation. Yotago, Tangwafa Konko. If they see white, then go say na black. Like Muhammad. Never me change, don't put us for cage. Like Muhammad. We money mix, they say na monkey. Like Muhammad. Then the ones back us say make we feb. Like Muhammad. put us for cage. Like Mohammed. We money mix, they say na monkey. Like Mohammed. Then do us back and say make we fem. Like Mohammed. They so be leaders of tomorrow. Same people go hijack our moro. We're up in a sorrow. Sonya West, Oje Tabagoro. This one you know funny yo. Who pull up, who pack on yo. They carry one money go. I drop a saw who pa monkey yo. So now which can monkey yo? That just I book a done yo. My people now papa show yo. Where their foot on, you can go yo. Before this time where the career, but soon I got no under Sharia. Aso suga buku Maria. Ewe so nyega na especially Maria. You know what? If they see white then go say na black. Like Mohammed. Then for me change don't put us for cage. Like Mohammed. We money mix they say na monkey. Like Mohammed. Then do us back and say make we fem. Like Mohammed. If they see white then go say na black. Like Mohammed. Never me change don't put us for cage. Like Mohammed. We money mix they say na monkey. Like Mohammed. Then do us back and say make we fem. Like Mohammed. Now my people then they worry. Wallah we no want them worry. Now my people then they worry. To fear I just see them worry. Now my people then they worry. Wallah we no want them worry. Now my people now they worry. To fear I just see them worry. Yeah, Biafra they fight for their right yo. Then send snake make it go dance yo. Fulanis then they keep for fun yo. My government want negotiate yo. Shana so they fight the corruption. While your cabinet all get infection. Fashola where the road yo. My people are still in the dark yo. Amechi is a loot yo. All the tiga but I walk not yo. Ndalati say we no know. Okrota won't privatize our state yo. Fake it then rig yo. Oshomole na your work yo. My people make on our way yo. This nation now our own yo. You know go if they see white then go say na black. Like Mohammed. Never me change don't put us for cage. Like Mohammed. We money mix they say na monkey. Like Mohammed. Then do us back and say make we fem. Like Mohammed. You are better secure your future. Go and get it change yourself. Time to retire those that are inspired. We are tired of life with switches. Hardest men occupying our space. It's time to give them break and jump out our democracy. Ndala.
Ame Biafra na. Biafra till we go, Biafra till we go. Biafra till we go, Biafra till we go. Ame Biafra na. 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 Biafra till we go, Biafra till we go. Biafra till we go, Biafra till we go. Ame Biafra na. Ame Biafra na. Ame Biafra na.
Where I came from, land of the rising sun, that's where I came from. What mama told me, that's what my daddy told me. I ain't gonna be a resident country who don't call me. Nigeria confused country, ruled by confused people. They say they're born rulers, indeed they're born killers. When you see them sit around table, talking money thing, these men are money bag. Share the money, loot the treasure dry. When my people die, it is a fact, can't deny. You supposed be the one that represent. These men are repossessed. I'm sick and tired of seeing my people be molested. crime accumulate, I feel. Like I'm suffocating.
So we go, Biafra, so we go. Biafra, so we go, Biafra, so we go. I'm a Biafra now, I'm a Biafra now, I'm a Biafra now. I'm a Biafra now, I'm a Biafra now, I'm a Biafra now. Biafra, so we go, Biafra, so we go. Biafra, so we go, Biafra, so we go. I'm a Biafra now, I'm a Biafra now, I'm a Biafra now.
The hater for Mali, not a Bob Mali, for me for Mali. That every season the same man came around city, got in your right city, stand in your means, tell you what you need. They talk about change when we are in pain. They made a lot of promise, they ask you to vote. Give them a place, give them a chance, you gave them a vote, you made them a boss. No time to waste, this is no time for joke. See the man we on chain, need to rise up, break the damn chain, get in chain, things ain't the same.
Biafra, here we go, Biafra, here we go. Biafra, here we go, Biafra, here we go. I'm a Biafra,
The hater can't stop us.
I'm a Biafra now, I'm a Biafra now, I'm a Biafra now.
We like it moving quick. I don't show, stay focused, I stay mild. We win. Shout out to our leader, Kano. Shout out to all the soldiers out there.
We've had very serious problems with Christians who have been murdered, killed in Nigeria. We're going to be working on that problem and working on that problem very, very hard because we can't allow that to happen.
IPOB, we worldwide. DJ Whiskey, real bets. Everything we've been through, God, oh, see you now. Yeah. Everything we've been through, God, oh, see you now. There's no one they can give to us better than Nandi Kanu. Envy, hatred was only two they gave us, fight on them. There's no amount of killings will kill our love for our country. There's nothing they can say to us, we keep us from each other. Chumpo Kike Abiyama, we're calling on you today. Where everyone else failed us, only you we trust. Chumpo Kike Abiyama, Umogina Ogita, Wewe Suna Babuani, So Kibucha. There's no one they can give to us better than Nandi Kanu. Every hatred was all it took, they gave us crocodile smile. There's no amount of killings will kill our love for our country. There's nothing they can say to us, will keep us from each other. Chukwu Kike Abiyama, Omogina Ogita, Wekwensu na Babuani, So Gibucha. God the Creator Almighty, we're calling on you today. Where everyone else failed us, only you we trust. Zobu, Zobu, together we call your name, Yahweh, Benjamin Madabugo. Together we call your name, Yahweh. Together we call your name, Yahweh. So young, smart, dedicated people. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Nigeria broken can be fixed. Evil love themselves, they know that. Do you really know what it means to be evil when really got no one but yourself? Don't want Paul, you can say your prayers. Get in touch with the ancestors. Know yourself and who you are. Where we're from and where we are headed. Purchase everything to our people. Seek you first the kingdom of God and join the fight for Biafra freedom. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Biafra is coming, I see how clearly in our hearts is where she's been born. We go let her out for the world to see how beautiful she is. Biafra,
together we call your name, Yahweh. Together we call your name, Yahweh. Together we call your name, Yahweh.
there's no one they can give to us better than Nandi Kanu. Every hatred was all it took. They gave us fight on them. There's no amount of killings will kill our love for our country. There's nothing they can say to us will keep us from our freedom. There's nothing they can do to us to keep us from our freedom. There's nothing they can say to us will keep us from each other. There's nothing they can give to us will stop us from our struggle. Chukwu kike abịama, omokina ogita, wekwesu na bagwani, toso gibucha. God the Creator Almighty, we're calling on you today. Where everyone else failed us, only you we trust. There's no one they can give to us better than Nandi Kanu. Envy, hatred was all it took. They gave us fight on them.
Always on point. You already know.
At all times, I speak truth. Like I've always said, if you speak the truth, you die. If you lie, you die. It's better to speak the truth and die.
KCP2. If a president is lifeless and his cabinet are heartless, all the agenda be the ruthless. How we go take over? How we go take see front? As our president is lifeless and his cabinet are heartless, all the agenda way the ruthless. How we go take over? How we go take see front? Which way? Nigerians, which way? Which way? Ebeka Vaike, next level. Which way? Buhari, which way? Which way? Ebeki Vaike, next level. We say we no one go again, for you say we must go. Share we go with pains. Tell us for this go slow. You promise for your next level. Say you go make sure say you shame devil. But there is nothing about you that is truthful. Such your next evil. You never recover from your change. When you carry also put inside cage. Every man expect to see another face. But we flip your peer for the next page. Nigeria people done they cry. Biafra people wish to go. Back up another 4 years of bloodshed because I was a fool and still they dominate chat. If a president is lifeless and his cabinet are heartless, all the agenda be the ruthless. How we go take over? How we go take see front? As our president is lifeless and his cabinet are heartless, all the agenda way the ruthless. How we go take over? How we go take see front? Which way? Nigerians, which way? Which way? Ebeka Vaike, next level. Which way? Buhari, which way? Which way? Ebeki Vaike, next level. Our democracy is in trouble because Abacha don't resurrect. Manangenye so good problem. like a fella don't reincarnate. My people suffering and smiling. Nobody won't fight for his right. Every man they fear to die. But if you check, some are living dead. Our biggest problem is religion. Many Christian leaders they manipulate. While some Muslims have been brainwashed. Save the key, they go make heaven. Says lion they chop grass. When make Ghana they show class. Says a whole giant take this snow. Because you weak leaders on like this sleep. Oh, if a president is lifeless and his cabinet are heartless, all the agenda be the ruthless. How we go take over? How we go take see front? As our president is lifeless and his cabinet are heartless, all the agenda we the ruthless. How we go take over? How we go take see front?
This is Biafra television, exposing the lies.
Yes, good afternoon, Biafrans all over the world, lovers of freedom, friends of Biafras, and each and every one of us, you out there watching Biafran television. We welcome you back once again. This is Biafran television, and we are dealing on the headlines that is making the national dailies in Nigeria, in the contraption called Nigeria. We are steadfast to the truth, and exposing the lies of the zoo remain our core responsibility here in Biafran television. This is the only platform where you could call in to say whatever you feel like saying, whatever, without fear of contradiction, without fear of molestation, without fear of being harassed by anyone. It is your platform, it is your right to speak your mind, and this is what we are here to ensure. Our phone lines are still open for those who are still interested, those who want to call us and to discuss on the issues that affect us as a people, and even on the matters that we have discussed so far. And with me this very afternoon is our very own brother, Mazi Bright Uriako. Mazi Bright Uriako, welcome back to the program.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we are talking about the alarm that is being raised concerning the security situation of the contraption called Nigeria by the First Lady. Aisha Buhari had come out to cry out that, look, the security structures is not working. There is no synergy. It is not working. Lives and properties are being lost on a daily basis. And this is against the policies or the stance of her so-called husband, the impostor in Aso Rock, who came out recently, or yesterday to be precise, to tell the whole world that Boko Haram is acting out of frustration. So you out there, what do you think? Because we as members of the indigenous people of Biafra, under the leadership of our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, had been saying it time without numbers that the late Muhammad Buhari is dead. And all these things are evidence of a government that is not in control, a government that have lost focus, a government that has too many bosses, too many people who are in control. The First Lady is there trying to see how she could remedy situations, trying to see how she could rally Nigerians behind her to make things work. But of course, the cabals are too strong. The Fulani men and women that find themselves in the corridors of power in Aso Rock are fighting back very, very, very immensely. And until we do something about this, there is no way forward. So Biafrans all over the world, this is your very own platform. You are advised or you are encouraged to call in to share your opinion on this very matters. Mazi Bright Uriako.
Yes, of course. We are the indigenous people of Biafra, being led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And of course, what is happening in the evil contraption called Nigeria is not a surprise to us, because our leader had said it. All our leaders said about the evil contraption called Nigeria, even those he said the prophecies have come to pass. And of course, we know that today the First Lady and of course have aligned, she's in line with Abba Kyari, telling you that Abba Kyari is the man and at the seat of power. He's the man taking the position of the president. The other one is just a camouflage, and of course the man they recruited from Sudan is just the only the person they use to retain the name, that position, so that they will continue to be in power. Now we're talking about security issues, talking about Aisha Buhari coming to take her own stance, and of course the same stand with Abba Kyari. They're telling you that yes, our leader has been right all the while, that Buhari is long dead and buried, and of course Aisha Buhari today is standing and of course as the lady, and I think the new husband should be Abba Kyari, and of course I think she's actually doing a good job with Abba Kyari, trying to still retain the seat of the former husband, trying to complete the tenure and still retain the seat for the second tenure. You know, it's not easy. She has actually been working with the Fulanis, and of course they are doing a very secret job. Of course, working hard for the British government, the owners of the business, of course, they are doing well, of course, to help run the business for the owners. You see how dirty business works, how people do dirty deals, and of course they succeed in doing it.
Yes. The caller on WhatsApp, your name and where are you calling from? The caller on WhatsApp, are you there?
Yeah, my name is Steven. From Malaysia.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you so much. I'm very happy and I appreciate you people a lot for the work you people are doing. God will protect you and guide you people and guide our leader in Jesus' name. Amen. So I'm
okay, right.
Jubilee abatose enyemaka eti ikpu subatari ose enyemaka ke ndị gabatari ose enyemaka kwụ ndị ahụ chidere na ọchọ ka abatari ose enyemaka ịgwa nye sekuriti ọrụ sekuriti anyị na-amara redi ya pụta kwuo eziokwu na onye ọbụrụ di ya pụta bịa okwu na onye anọ na-asọrọ ọgụ na ọbụrụ di ya a ga-ebu ya egwu ndị ga-esevi egesevukwu ya ọ bụrụ na ọpụta na ọkụrụ ya akụkọ na Abakari nke a na ọrụ nke ọzọ ma ọrụ nke ọzọ ya pụta kwuo eziokwu azemọdụ ọrụ ogbugbu a na-egbusi ụmụ ya ọwụ ya manụ ụmụasị ka eso na-egbusi bikos ogbugbu a na-egbusi Biafra ebe ọbụla ga-eketecha oke ya n'ikpeazụ ha niile ga-eketecha oke ofu ebe ọbụla ha nọ ha ga-eketecha oke keta oke ogbugbu agha and obi dị m aṅụrị dị m ụtọ jụọ ejuju m afọ wee dịka mba ofesi shiweli anya n'okwu a na-emekwanụ ka anyị mara na okwu a ga-abịa to settlement at any time na Biafra ga-ala. So onye m na-ekwu na bụ ụlọ echile ndị agha ntị ebe ọbụla si na asụrụ ọgọgọ Nigeria zoo na-ekwu okwu oke ahụ mmiri ahụ na-ekwute because they are all chameleon, the same bird with the same feathers. Ọkwa ha ekwuchakwa ha akwa ha eje mee ọzọ. Aisha Buhari pụta na-eti mkpu ka ife ọ na-etiri mkpu fọ pụta bịa gwa public na onye ọbụrụ di gị na ka public mata na nna ukwu Maazị Nnamdi Kalụ na-ekwu eziokwu. Ọ bụ ọnwụ nwaanyị dị ịlụ ịma dị ịlụ gị ịma otu di gị oge ịma gwa di gị na-akpa ịpụtazie a na-akọrọ ya akụkọ ndị ogede Abakari emekwere nke a o mekwere nke ọzọ ma kpuchitekwa ọsị were asị kpuchidi ya ekpuchicha ya ekpuchie ka onye a na-etikwa onye mkpu ọwụ indigenous people of Biafra or IPOB ka ọ dịla amụkwu Nnamdi Maazị Kalụ bịa rescue I need from this paper. Rescue I need is only but the truth and nothing but the truth. Aisha Buhari pụta kwuo eziokwu ya ofu onye nwere ọha ọ bụrụ ihe ọjọọ ama nwere ihe ọha ma ihe a na-achọpụta ya pụta kwuo eziokwu na onye a na-ebe a na ọ bụrụ di ya. Anyị achọghị ozi ịlọ na ọ na-eti mkpu ọ na-etikwa ka ọ na-eti nke a otu mi okwu bụ na mgbe ha niile ọ na-etewa amamsị ebe na-achọghị pụtakwa eziokwu na onye ọ bụrụ di gị ịchọghị pụta dịkla ya sị onye ọ bụrụ di gị onye ọ bụghị onye ele gị ijide ụka pụta ihe na-esi n'ugbo emekwere nke a na gọọmenti azụ emekwere nke ebe a emekwere nke ebe emekwere nke ebe a naanị ihe m na-arịọ ndị Biafra ndị IPOB ihe m na-arịọ ha bụ onye ọbụla jisi ike onye ọbụla gbawa mbọ jisi ike maka ahụhụ nna ya ukwu Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-akpa agawụ vel and we are ready and we are ready and we are ready to feel it. Ịghọtago anyị nwa na-abatakwa Igbo na-emekwa ihe ndị ọzọ anyị kwesịrị wee na-eme ebe anyị nọ anyị na-emekwa ndị anyị kwesịkwara iwere na-eme mana achọ m ka na-etiti ndị a ntị n'olu ọsọ ntị a na-eti n'olu adịghị ka ha na-enwekwu m advantage mkpu ha na-eti ha etiri ebutu ndị asef naanị ha chọrọ eziokwu dịka Maazị Nnamdi Kanu si ekwu eziokwu ịnwọchi okwu Maazị Nnamdi Kanu since from origin till today jee cheta okwu ahụ webe ị ga-afụ etiri eti ma ewepụrụ ewepụ okwu ahụ niile wụ eziokwu and nke ọbụla e kwuchara ị ga-afụ ihe mechapụta ife so anyị adịgota ya dị na Aisha Buhari Aisha Jubilee bikos uru na-akpa Aisha Buhari eme ma a na-ata ọchị m n'ọbara Aisha Jubilee of Sudan ịghọtago mkpu ọ na-eti ya ga Sudan ga-etinye ya ọ ya pụta na Naijiria wụzuu ya kọntrị gwa ha eziokwu so onye ya bụrụ di ya ka anyị nwee ike nweta ihe anyị chọrọ ka anyị lawara ụmụ anyị n'udo anyị achọghị ọga anyị achọghịkwa n'ọgba aghara anyị achọghị nsogbu mana dịka ha esi jikwa nsogbu na-ebubatara anyị mgbe a mụrụ nwoke na mba ka a mụrụ ibi ya anyị kwesịkwara ekwesịrị naanị ha chọrọ ya ọda enyegodola gị ofu mkpụrụ ọda ka anyị mekwana ihe anyị kwesịrị ime nwanne onye kwugide mmadụ bụ ide mmadụ gị zekwa onwe gị oge gị na-echekwa onwe gị na-egbugwara bikọs onye na-egbugwara ya egbue ya onye nwụrụ anwụ anwụgo ọ nwụta ha n'ọnụ ndụ smartphone tikwere n'elu ya dịrị unu na mma bịakwa rụzi n'ụlọ unu bịakwa ebe unu si pụta Chukwu ga-echi unu ndụ nye ogologo ndụ nye unu mmiri nye unu ọganiru nye unu ahụ isi ike onye ọbụla chere unu echiche ọjọọ Chukwu okike ọbịa ma ga-egbu ya n'ezinụlọ ya onye agha ga-apụta n'ime ya anyị bịa madụ m unu anwụchila anwụchi ndewonu.
Mazi Sosowo, all the way from Malaysia, I want to say a very big thank you for calling in this very afternoon to make your own view on the issues that is at hand. Based still on insecurity in the contraption called Nigeria, Dave Umahi this afternoon had just come out to make a statement that Mazi Bright Riako, Dave Umahi, the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, has come out to say that other states should embrace state police. This is what he's coming out to say, that issues of insecurity are delicate matters that people have to be careful about, but he's encouraging other states to encourage state police. This according to Vanguard newspaper. But one begins to wonder what happened to him when he had what happened to them. The governors in the Southeast, when they had a meeting with the presence of the Inspector General of Police, and that they subscribed to community policing by that was initiated by the federal government. What was he thinking at that very stage? And right now he's saying that them and Ohaneze are having disagreements on these very security matters, and he's calling on other states to embrace state policing, if in spite of the challenges it may bring. So what is your take on that?
Yes, we have a call on WhatsApp.
The call on WhatsApp, your name and where are you calling from? Welcome to the program.
All hail Biafra.
All hail Biafra.
Biafra, freedom. Freedom Biafra. I'm calling from Russia Federation, Moscow. My name is Ugochukwu Ezekulie Nwakanwa.
Welcome to the program.
Mwala su nke mi Igbo, onye Igbo ka anwụ.
Right on.
Mwala su nke mi Igbo. Ihe ndị weso asu nke mi Igbo bụ at last awori Igbo nwanyị okwela ghọta ile amị ọfụma karịa nke iji Igbo asụ anyị koso oke grama ala ghọta ọ na-eme anyị sometimes anyị ala ghọta ihe in different way. Ihe na-eme n'obodo bụ Zuru Nigeria. Ojezuru ha ahụ maka na ndị ha gburu oge duru Biafra, ndị ha gburu ụmụ Biafra ha gburu, ma ndị ha chụpụrụ ala Biafra, ma ndị ha zuru ezu, ma ndị ha rere ere ma reta ego, anyị ga-abụghị lele ya ha nsogbu ebe ọbụla ha nụ nke a ga-adịte ebe ha nọ ntị ha anyị were ihe anyị laba. Onye ji ihe nwata welie ya aka elu aka fụgbu nwe oge ewetu ya. Ha ji ihe anyị ha welie elu aka ya afụgba ụfụ ha ga-ewute nwe obere oge. Maka na anyị nwa
anyị nwa nọ na n'ala ghọta ahụ anyị na-achụzi ha na tụrụ arụsị ala anyị niile arụsị ala Biafra bụ niile na-achụzi ha maka ha na-eme ha nụghị wute baịbụl wute kwura ụdị egbu ha so anyị ga-ejiri na arụsị dị n'ala anyị kpaa ha so ka arụsị anyị na-etigbu ha one by one maka na ha bata arụsị anyị achụpụ ha anyị na-emeri mmeri bụ nke anyị obodo niile bụ obodo niile nọ ugbu a ha mara anyị wee meriala ha ihe ọlụ ha na ka ha sọrọ ha ndụ ka ha si anyị laba ike agwụla ha ọrụ ọbụla ha nọ na ụlọ agba ha agba megide ezi ogowa na abụọ na-ebutere ha ekpere ogowa na aka ya niile juru ọbara ihe niile gburu n'ala Biafra abụliela abịa na-egbu ya so ọ aka ha maka ha si anyị laba n'udo na ọṅụ ọha Biafra ana m ekele onye ọbụla bụ onye IPOB na-ekele ọbụla pụtara ala Biafra maka na maapụ dịka ihe ezumọnụ esi apụta akpọ ya jụọ ya ebe ọsọ si na onye Naijiria mgbakọwa onye kịtụ ebe onye Naijiria ga-akọwata wulie onye ebe so ebe onye Naijiria so ihe mma bụla anyị nwa bụ ụmụ Biafra ụmụ Chukwu okike abịa gbara ndị ọ ga-adịrị mma n'ụtụtụ dịrị mma ihe dịrị mma n'abalị ana m ekele nna anyị ukwu bụ Nnamdị Kanụ onye ọ ga-adịrị mma Chineke na-edu ya n'ụtụtụ na-edu ya n'abalị edu ya n'ehihie nye ike o ji were pụta wee sị na dị akpụlata ụmụnne ya nye anyị ụzọ nye anyị mmiri nye anyị ọkụ Chukwu nke abịa nwa ga-egosi ya Biafra aja n'udo na ọmụ na-enweghị nsogbu ọbụla ise ọdụ ụmụ Biafra mma ọ nke chọrọ ikwu n'ehihie ala m agbọ from Russia Federation most.
Thank you very much, Amazi, all the way from Russia. Our people all over the world. We have people listening to us right now in South Korea. So people are listening in United Kingdom, in America, in Russia, in Middle East, in all over the world. And these are people who want to be in touch with the truth. These are formidable Biafrans. And it is our responsibility to continue to expose the lies of the zoo. Mazi Oriako, you were saying something.
Yes, we were talking about Dave Umahi. You know that Dave Umahi is the leader of the Governor's Forum. And of course, as a result, he is the one that invited. We know that several times we have discussed about Dave Umahi, his position. Remember his position when the military were killing Biafrans. And of course, when they came to Biafra land, Dave Umahi took a position. He said that they should be professional about it. He was the one that told the military that, see, the one you did in Umuahia, you were too open. You killed Biafrans in the open, and of course, it actually exposed them to the international community. So he now advised the military to be professional about it. And that if you watch him all this while, he had tried to cook or package things like in a way that nobody would know. And what was the resultant effect of that statement? After then, we saw that our people were kidnapped secretly. That was when secret killings started. All those while they stopped, they continue to kill our people, but they don't do it in the open day, in broad daylight again. They take our people to unknown places and they slaughter them. And of course, sometimes they go to their houses and kidnap them. And before you know what's happening, they have killed them. So Dave Umahi's position, you remember that Dave Umahi is one of the chief servants of the Nigerian government in Biafra land. So his position is with the state police. And what does he want? When you're talking about state police, he's talking about a system where those vigilante or any group, any security force will be aligned with the Nigerian government, with this killer squad, and be taking instruction from them. That is what it means. That is his stance. And of course, he wants to be the one, of course, advising them as chief security officer of the state. But you see that in that state you're talking about, that has become the stronghold of the Fulanis. When they are coming today to Biafra land, most of them, of course, take the route of Ebonyi State because Ebonyi State has given them a bold welcome in the state through Dave Umahi. Dave Umahi has signed places for them in the state and, of course, has welcomed the Fulani. So he is taking towing a part of state police, yes, because he feels that, yes, the state government, federal government, of course, and the state and the killer police that have been his friend that he has worked with over the years should not be pushed out, should not be abandoned. He wants to be in charge. He wants to continue to be in charge. He's not interested in the people. That is why he's making that statement.
Thank you very much, Mazi Bright Orioko. If you are from the Igbo speaking area of Biafra land, it is a duty for you to call in to this very program right now, because we are dissecting the evils of the Southeast governors, especially being led by Dave Umahi. The latest mosque of Islamic, the latest Islamic prayer center or mosque, as they call it, is being built by Dave Umahi, and right now it is being hosted in Ebonyi State. Dave Umahi is in the business of pacifying these Fulani Janjaweeds that we have. That is the business of Dave Umahi on daily basis. Now, when we talk about this young man is coming out to talk about security, about security solutions in the Southeast and in Biafra land at large, one begin to wonder of what a level of conscience are they speaking on? What is really, why are they bold to come out to make statement? You remember our people was killed at Mpo. Exactly. You remember our people were killed at Aba High School. You remember that our people were poured acid. You remember that our people were thrown into River Niger. You remember our people were killed in Asaba. Our people were killed in Iguacha. In several places, our people are being killed in Igbo-speaking areas and in Igbo land. And Dave Umahi, up to this very moment as I'm talking to you right now, no investigation has indicted anybody on that very killing. No investigation at all of whatsoever. The last time when we were crying out and shouting, the Amnesty International was on the neck of the military. The military came out and said they are setting up panel of inquiry, and that was even when they invaded the house of our leader Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. Do you know that the result of that very investigation is not yet out? The Izu River killing that Pete Obi, the Nnamdi Azikiwe of our time, when he was the governor, and he refused to release the report of our people that were killed, that were thrown at the water side. Up to today, Dave Umahi has made no effort for such investigations to be unraveled. Even if the lives of these people are not going to come back, the truth had not yet been revealed. Justice had not prevailed. And Dave Umahi will come out to tell us about insecurity. You know, one thing these people should understand, that as long as the earth remaineth, as long as Biafra land remaineth, that these people will not be forgiven. That these people, their atrocities, their treachery would be remembered for generations to come. It will be written boldly on the streets of Biafra that these are the people that sold us out. These are the people that presided over the killings of our people. This is one message that Dave Umahi has to really understand. This is one message he has to be aware of, very aware of, that we cannot be comfortable with his children. We cannot be comfortable with them because their parents had cost us a lot of pains that they must pay for. So wherever you are right now and you want to make a statement, you want to make a contribution to these very issues that is at hand, we have to send a very strong signal to this very evil man that we have in Ebonyi State, that his plan for 2023 will definitely fail him, because it is a law that whosoever that serve this Fulani Caliphate will always come back in shame. Maziriako.
Of course, you cannot serve Nigeria and not come back in shame. Dave Umahi, his shame is cooking up. His shame is actually cooking up, because the day is coming when he would pay for his sins. Because when we talk about Operation Python Dance 2, that the famous Operation Python Dance 2 that is the new generation or renewal of the genocide, because at that point we could say that yes, that was another beginning of genocide against the indigenous people after the 1967 genocide that was committed against us. It was renewed in Operation Python Dance 2, and Dave Umahi was the leader, of course, has been the governor's leader, and he was the one that presided over those meetings. And you see that up until now, justice do not prevail. And of course, he's always on the side of the Nigerian government, in the sense that, yes, because he has a selfish ambition, he is looking for a position in Asorok. He feels that Nigeria should remain. These are the men who are fighting for one Nigeria. David Umahi is a one Nigerianist, and of course, you don't mistake his name because he's from Ebonyi State, because he's a governor in Ebonyi State. You think he's working for? No, he is the enemy of the people. He is working for Nigerian government and he's working for his selfish interest. His target is that in 2023 they will make him president or vice president. And of course he's targeting Asoro, he's targeting Abuja, and of course Chokukabiyama will not allow it to be so because Biafra must have been restored before then. Biafra will not wait till for 2023. Biafra will not wait for Dave Umahi's ambition to be fulfilled because he must pay for his sins. The killing of the innocent Biafrans, the killing of Biafrans, of course Python dance too, he has to pay, and of course those that died afterwards and those he has continued to kill, and of course the effect of the Fulanis coming into Biafra land whom he has welcomed wholeheartedly, he is going to pay for it. So Dave Umahi is the man that is his ambition is being driven by his selfish ambition to be president or vice president or whatever his ambition in Asorok is. But I know that those ambition is bound to fail.
Of course those ambitions are bound to fail. Definitely they are going to fail because Dave Umahi had cost us a lot of pains. I can remember a few months before now, he was in the business of hunting down Biafrans in Biafra land. That was his business, that was his responsibility. Hunting us, causing us pains. A lot of members of the indigenous people of Biafra in detention, languishing in detention in Ebonyi State and in different parts of Biafra land. Our people in Akwa Ibom currently are in detention. 17 people are in detention in Akwa Ibom in the maximum prison precisely in Ikorepene local government area. These are members of indigenous people of Biafra that even after being granted bail in stringent conditions, they have not been released up to this very moment. So this is how painful the issues is. This is how evil it is. This is how the callousness, the wickedness that have been brought upon our land. And at the end of the day, these people must surely pay for it. They must surely pay for it. And a few minutes before we call it a day in this afternoon segment, we want to look at our very last issue, the issue of our people. Yes, the issue of our people in Biafra land, talking about the intelligence report that came in, especially those at Iguacha, that their land has been invaded, that there are some Fulani people that came in, strange faces that came in that are being backed up by the military, and they are finding refuge in Iguacha. So this is according to IPOB intelligence team who had made this assertion, and this is what we are going to talk about and to warn our people in Iguacha that they have to be vigilant. Mazi Bright Oriako, I don't know if you have a take on this as we round up.
Yes, the Iguacha has always been a target because when in the plans of the Fulanis, you remember that their target is to make sure their Quran is sunk in the Atlantic Ocean. And of course, when they want to do this, once you see them in their real plan, the first place they want to land is Iguacha. Why they feel they want to go to Iguacha straight away is because it's close to the Atlantic, it's close to the, it's a river, Iguacha is very close to, why we call it Iguacha. Once you are there, you are looking at the sea. So for that reason, you see them, they are running towards the Atlantic. They want to make sure that they carry their Quran and they want to operate from that angle. So don't be surprised when you see the Fulanis landing there. You know that they are up to something. You know that they want to unleash mayhem. You know that they want to start their killing business. So when you see them offloading, and of course we have been announcing, we have been saying it, that the Fulanis have been offloading and of course sending their people and sending ammunition to Iguacha for a long period of time. They are actually doing it, and this time around we see more strange faces, more arms being pushed to Iguacha on daily basis. So that is to tell you that the Biafra land is under siege, under serious siege by the Fulanis. They are working assiduously to make sure that they achieve their Islamization agenda, because they know that Biafra has already got to a point where they cannot stop it. But they don't want to give up, and of course, you see, they are using all the resources. Some moments ago, we were talking about the borrowings. They have borrowed so much money, in spite of the money that Nigeria is making, and they are using it to make sure that they fasten up the Islamization agenda. That's why you see them pushing them to Iguacha.
That is why they are coming to Iguacha. The caller on WhatsApp, your name and where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, Biafran brothers. My name is Chukwudi Chime. I'm calling from Austria. My brothers, well done for the fantastic good job. It's a godly job that you brothers are doing. Job of justice. So may the Most High protect and guide you and give you the wisdom needed in this, because it's not man work, it's not the war of man, it's God that fights.
Thank you, sir.
Our people, I have one song that our people sang one time. The song touched me. They said, so that song too real, you know. So about the brother will call out because of Aisha, make we not take too much emotion follow things, because Igbo na oya to you call while you are so I'm Aisha contaminated because you know where we're going to bank to US bank. But we should be grateful and read into everything, because Ibn Hamadik himself reads through to support what in the talk. So if somebody says something, we hear it 7 times and check it from different perspectives, because the people know they deal with the impunity is oversized. They will kill you for your presence and still
Thank you very much. We are rounding up. Thank you very much for that wonderful
conversation.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. So we'll be calling it a day here. Please stay with us as we come back in our evening edition. This is Aparawa Daniel Usoro reaching you from Biafra land.
This is Biafra television, exposing the lies.